What's up guys, my name is Jack Patras and I am here today with Dougie Studios and we are going to be counting down the top 5 things in Over Esmeralda, Dougie Studios' most recent film that you did not notice on your first watch. Number 1. Dr. Anderson holding the broom. If you watched Her Over Esmeralda, you know that the biggest fight scene in the entire movie takes place at the very ending. Throughout the film, there is a huge buildup of tension between Isabel and Esmeralda, and at the ending, all of Esmeralda's anger that has been building up gets released in one final scene. If you remember how the fight takes place, you would know that Isabel trips on a broom that had been placed on the stairs, and she falls all the way down them. Now, as we know by the end of the film, Dr. Anderson was the one that was planting all of these scenes between Esmeralda and Isabella to get them to fight. Something that you may not have noticed though is that in the scene right before Isabel falls, when Esmeralda is walking out of the room, you can see all of the cast is lined up in the hallway, and during the scene, you can see Dr. Anderson holding Mrs. Garcia's broom. The broom is very significant because Mrs. Garcia is holding it in every scene. People who are paying attention on the first run might think that Mrs. Garcia placed the broom for Isabel to fall, but that is not the case. Dr. Anderson is foreshadowed in the hallway scene to be the one who is actually planting all of these seeds. Number 2. The major and minor music changes. This is a really subtle detail that I think a lot of people might not notice on their first watch through, but during a lot of the scenes where there's tension, I will name the specific scenes, the music in the background will switch from major to minor. If you're not familiar with music theory, a lot of the time major keys represent a happy vibe or more upbeat music, while minor keys signify a little bit of a sadness or melancholic feeling. The producers at Dougie Studios were very intentful with this change because they added them during times where tension is being built or anger is being released. The first time that this occurs, at least to my knowledge, is when Esmeralda is talking to Dr. Anderson in her therapy session. During this scene, we can tell that Esmeralda is very angry by the facial expressions that she's making. While we can't exactly hear what she's saying, we do have the music to cue this in too. During this scene, the music changes from major to minor, and though it's a slight detail, you can notice it now that I'm pointing it out. I'll play the clip right now. The second time that this happens, at least to what I'm aware of, once again, I may have missed stuff, is at the very ending of the film when we're getting Dr. Anderson's flashbacks. During this scene specifically, the music changes from minor for a very long time. As Dr. Anderson and Alan are walking out of the house to the car, the camera pans over to Dr. Anderson and the camera goes black, signifying that she's reliving the things that she did. During this scene, the music becomes minor once again, and I'll play the clip for you so you can notice. I think that this detail specifically is one of my favorites on this list because you know how intentful it was by the producers at Dougie Studios. I like that it's something that a lot of people might not notice on their first watch, and I think that it really shows how intentful the people at Dougie Studios are when they're making their films. Number 3. Tabletkas. After Dr. Anderson and Esmeralda have their conversation in the therapist's room, Dr. Anderson decides to prescribe Esmeralda with some tabletkas, as they are called in the film. Now, this is a detail that I think a lot of people wouldn't realize, but tabletka is actually the name of a Dougie Studios film that was unreleased and filmed in the summer of 2024. Very little content about this film has been released, but we do know that it is a spy film, and we do know that it would have been Dougie Studios' longest production ever. The tabletkas are also referenced again towards the end of the film as Esmeralda is walking down the stairs. Dr. Anderson brings them back up again and asks if Esmeralda has been taking them, and we see her flashback showing that it has caused her impulsive rage and has caused her to do all the things that she's been doing, especially the very ending when she goes on to kill Isabel. Number 4. Mrs. Garcia. Now this one is more of a theory that I have seen a couple people state, but it is related to Mrs. Garcia and Dr. Anderson's relationship. Mrs. Garcia states that Dr. Anderson helped her through her divorce with her husband and helped her deal with her 6 kids that were left to her. Now we do see that Dr. Anderson and Mrs. Garcia have a lot of former relationships and connections, so the fan theory goes off of this. Knowing that Dr. Anderson was planting all of the seeds between Isabel and Esmeralda, we can tie in the relationship that she has with Mrs. Garcia to maybe suggest that Mrs. Garcia had something to do with this whole situation as well. Throughout the film, we know that Mrs. Garcia is very lighthearted.
Oh my God! Men are love.
And personable and charismatic, but this definitely hides a few things that she may have been doing throughout the film. There are multiple times that we see Mrs. Garcia is very, very happy to see Alan, possibly suspiciously happy, and we also see her very excited to see Dr. Anderson as well. Now, I don't know if I personally believe this theory, but there may be more evidence to suggest that it is true, and if there is, leave it below in the comments because I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Number 4.5. Dr. Anderson and Alan cuddling. So I added this as 4.5 because I don't think it was big enough to be the 5th thing that we didn't notice while we were watching, but I still wanted to bring it up because I think it's interesting, and I definitely think it's intentional by the producers. During the biggest fight scene, throughout all the chaos, it may be easy to get distracted and miss some of the details that the producers planted in the scene. One of these details is shown while Isabella is on the ground and we are seeing from her perspective what she's looking for and while she's looking for Esmeralda. Now the scene is very chaotic and it may be easy to miss these details, but as Isabella looks to the counter in the distance, you can see Alan and Dr. Anderson holding each other in a little bit too intimate way. I'll play the image right now so you can see what I'm talking about, but while they were scared, is it normal for somebody to curl up next to their friend like that? I mean, as far as we know, Dr. Anderson and Alan barely have a relationship with each other. I mean, we don't even know if Alan is seeing her or anything about that at all. Now, this might not be true, but to my understanding, Dr. Anderson was visiting Esmeralda at Alan and Esmeralda's house, which may explain the connection between Alan and Dr. Anderson because they may have had some sort of interactions while they're in the hallway or while Dr. Anderson was leaving, and they may have become friends through that and eventually had their affair. Number 5, the disappearance of the broom. Now, I know I didn't necessarily say this at the start, but I am starting to veer towards a more fan theory side of these details that we may not have noticed. This one is a major theory and it is much more off script than the one with Mrs. Garcia, so just bear with me and I'm going to explain it to the best of my ability. I really have to roll the clip so that you can understand what I'm talking about, so I'll show you here. But during the scene where Isabel is falling down the stairs, we can see the broom that she tripped on has disappeared in one of the clips. Now this is the core of the theory, and the theory states that the broom disappearing might not have been an accident by the producers, and it may have been an intentional detail in the scene. Now, you may be asking, Jack, why would they add this detail in? How could that possibly be explained? But I'm going to explain it right now, okay? Hear me out. Esmeralda was hallucinating the broom. Yes, I know it sounds very crazy, but as we see Isabel falling down the stairs, Esmeralda gets blamed for pushing her, and we do know that a lot of the story comes from Esmeralda's perspective almost, and most of the scenes show Esmeralda's thoughts and how she's interpreting the whole situation. That being said, we do know that the tabletka pills can cause impulsive rage, but Dr. Anderson kind of trailed off as she was listing the symptoms, and I'll show you the clip of that too.
They'll boost your energy, but there are side effects like impulsive rage, diarrhea. It's okay though.
No, Dr. Anderson, it is not okay. So we don't exactly know what can occur due to these tabletka pills, and I think that one of the symptoms may also have been psychosis. I'm sorry, it sounds really stupid. I have seen a few fans talking about this theory. I personally think it is kind of a little far off the script of what the producers may have thinking, but I definitely think it's interesting, and it would explain why the broom disappears, because it may have been a hallucination by Esmeralda. We know that Esmeralda definitely has a victim complex throughout this film, and that being said, I definitely think she deserves to have that victim complex, that she is the one being cheated on, but that doesn't mean she couldn't push Isabel down the stairs like the rest of the cast thought that she did. The broom may have been a hallucination by Esmeralda, created and added into the scene to make her feel better about what was happening. Deep down, she may have knew that she pushed Isabel down the stairs, but wanted to use something to cope with the guilt of that interaction. So, from Esmeralda's perspective, we may see that a broom was hallucinated to create a story in her head that would pull the guilt from her mind of pushing Isabel down the stairs. And definitely think that this is a major theory, and I don't know if the producers intentionally added this, but I definitely think that it could make sense. And if they did confirm this, I don't think it would be very far off from what makes sense throughout the story. I mean, I think there are definitely other details that support this as well. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for watching so much. This is a breakdown of Dougie Studios films, and I will definitely be making more as more films come out. And I just wanted to let you guys know also, if you're not aware, the Dougies are coming very soon, where we take all of the films from Dougie Studios and we nominate best actors and actresses, you're welcome, based on the categories that we think they fit the best. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover other Dougie Studios videos, and with that, I'm Jack Patras, and I'll see you next time.